Now we're on part three. Every time I hit that, I think I just have to hit the pad area. Okay, so we were doing this list. Who cares what we see? So number 11, Saturday Night at the Movies, The Drifter, Sitting in the Balcony, Eddie Cochran, Spaghetti Western, Primus, 35 Millimeter Dreams, Garland Jeffries, Western movies, The Olympics. So a very entertaining book. You should definitely go on eBay or whatever, used bookstore. This is a great book. Dave Marsh and James Bernard. James Bernard is for the rap, of course, because affirmative action. you got to have that. You can't have your own thing anymore. You got to have, those people. Okay, let's see. All right. Now, this book was one of my first rock encyclopedias. I remember I went to a bookstore. I was like 16, 17. So this is the illustrated, I think I showed this once before, Illustrated Book of Rock List. The funny thing, it says free of British bias. That's the most funny thing. And, of course, they hate Grand Funk. And what I like about this book is they have some great pictures. Look at this picture of Jimmy Page. This is, you can't see the full detail of it. Hold on, let me show you this. It's amazing. There's great pictures in this book. Let me see. Show you another one. It's by Nick Logan and Bob Weffenden. I didn't remember the book, but I remember it's a New Music Express, and I did a search on eBay at the New Music. Look at this picture, beautiful. Jody Mitchell, so beautiful, so pretty. Not anymore. Those years of smoking. Oh my God. So this is a really good book. I mean, it's not free of British bias. It's full of British bias. The whole thing is British bias. Every British man is great. Oh yeah, but the Americans are not as good. Oh, unless they're like the black guys. Yeah, the original. The Brits love the black founders rock and roll. Okay, but if you're a white guy from America, you're kind of suspect, Maybe Bruce Springsteen. Let's see about Bruce Springsteen. It's funny. I was just thinking today, the London Spoonful, they were overrated. They should not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's, it's fine. I was listening to their best of. It's kind of weak. They had maybe four decent songs. You're telling me they're better than Grand Funk. Grand Funk had so many great songs. I mean, let's see. Let me see. Bruce Springsteen. That's the picture they got. I got to read what they think of him. But anyway, so I bet you because if you're a white guy from America, they don't like it. Okay, now this book I'm reading currently, but I haven't read it a while. Maybe I'll read a chapter or two. I got a lot to do. I was telling people I had a big disaster this morning. So they did an upgrade, Windows 10 upgrade. So, okay, so I rebooted my computer because I had this problem. My mouse disappeared. So what happened was I went to reboot, and of course my computer froze. Let me just touch it. Okay, I think I know what I got to do with that. My computer froze. So what happened was crashed the computer. So I told the boss I wasn't feeling well because it's a real pain in the ass. I called whatchamacallit, and they didn't know the IT. Of course, IT did the upgrade, and they didn't know what the fuck they did. I mean, they're a bunch of boobs. One guy goes, "Oh, I'll have to put in a ticket." Okay. Now, it kind of gave me a hint later. This nice Indian, well, she's not so nice. She's like yelling at me. So it gave me an idea. Keep pressing this 9 button as soon as you see the Hewlett Packard. Now, so I turned it on tonight at about 9:30, and I kept doing it. Finally got the boot screen, and I was able to get back in. So I'll probably have to stay up to 3 o'clock this one. Sometimes you got to do that in life, but it's okay. All right, so yeah, it looks like, but I definitely want to finish this. Now, this is a great book. This is Jimi Hendrix, Ultimate Hendrix, an illustrated encyclopedia of live concerts and sessions. Okay, so this book, and this is by John McDermott, Eddie Kramer, and Billy Cox, 3 guys who know a lot about Hendrix. Okay, John McDermott is a great researcher. He actually, I think he's done engineering too, of music. Eddie Kramer, of course, greatest engineer in the world. And Billy Cox, Jimi Hendrix Army buddy, bass player for about a year and a half, maybe. I don't know. I joined them in September, about a year. Okay, so they, and incredible job that this John McDermott does. He's a writer. I think he does a little music engineering too, and he just put together such a book. He goes through every concert, every recording session with a fine, and the pictures are just great. Look at this. Should probably use color for that. Maybe I'll do a second one with color. But I like the retro look, the retro look. So beautiful pictures, annotated. Also he teaches you something. Like I learned a lot about 4 tracks mixed down. I never knew anything about that. So really highly recommended. If you could get your hands on this book, get it. Excellent book. He also has another book I'm thinking of getting eventually. Jimi Hendrix Setting the Record Straight. Okay. I think we have 2 more, and then we're going to call it a night. Okay. All right. Now, I recently got this book because so I thought about this guy, and I always thought he was really underrated. Everyone's given his bandmate, Eric Clapton. He's in that special club, like with Rod Stewart and Sting, and who else is in that special club? Paul McCartney, and but this guy never got in the special club. This guy had to hang out. This guy had to play, and But this guy's really talented, and he didn't get his dessert. So I wanted to read. I always like underdogs, guys. That's why I like Grand Funk, because they never got their due. I like bands like that. Like I don't like the Pink Floyds of the world. I don't like the bands that look kind of like we're just giving everything. I like bands that you listen to and say, how come this band is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And this guy's kind of like that. He's like a guy that never got his due. Jack Bruce, the bassist for Cream, and he also had a nice solo career too. He also played for Leslie West and Corky Lane in an outfit called West, Bruce and Lang. So, and he, a very talented man. And I didn't know much about him. I always was kind of fascinated by why Cream broke up. I knew it had something to do with Ginger Baker, but I didn't know exactly what it did. Was it him? Was it? I always thought it was Ginger Baker, but some people said no, he was a lot at fault. And and why he didn't continue, because he wrote some great songs, in rock, but he went into jazz, and how come he never had more success, So I always, wanted to know a lot. So this book is Jack Bruce composing himself. Forward by Eric Clapton, the authorized biography by Harry Shapiro. Now, Harry Shapiro, I know, has written some good books. I'm trying to think. I know, let's see. He's written, and this looks like a good book. He's author for Waiting of the Man, The Story of Drugs and Popular Music, Shooting Stars, Drugs, Hollywood, and the Movies, Jimi Hendrix, Electric Gypsy. I think I read that, actually. I don't have it. Eric Clapton, Lost in the Blues, and biographies of Graham Bond, of Alexis Korner. Well, we could probably do without that. Okay, final book of the night. Okay. Oh, and what I could probably do, I'm thinking, there's a way. I know on my iPhone there's a way of combining videos into one with Movie Maker. Now, I think they have that on here. So I have these 3 videos, and what the king is going to do. The king's a very bright guy. Not really. King's a lot dumber than you think. He's like a guy you think he's smart, but he's like really dumb. But so what I'm going to do? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I have now, because I hit I get this dark screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to combine these 3 videos into one. So when you watch the video, you don't have to go part 1 or 1, 2. Or, so I'm a moron. I don't know if I can do it. But anyway. The last book I really want to, one day, I have so much on my plate. I got work, I got these videos I do. Now, the last book is a really interesting book. Dave Marsh, my favorite writer, has come up with what he thinks are the 1,001 greatest singles of all time. And it's called Dave Marsh, The Heart of Rock and Soul. the 1,001 greatest singles of all time. Now, I'm not going to tell you, but I don't know what I'm up to 990 actually. So what it's interesting. So what I have is the I had since you got the what do you call that thing, YouTube. I've actually listened to each of them, and it's got to be number one, right? Let me see what the number one is. Am I shocked? And he tells a story behind each single. 1,001. I was a surprise because the 1,001 never charted, right? And some of these singles never chart. And I don't think there's a person alive who knows more about, rock and roll. Okay, number one is not really a surprise, okay? Number two, okay. Now, again, Dave Moore. One thing, okay. First four artists are African American. Now, this is my always been complaint about some of these critics. And again, you might say the king is a racist, but he's not. And there's a lot of bias to include African American artists. Now, there are a lot of great African American, no doubt about it. I love Otis Redding. I had everyone's up, but there's a type of thing where this is an exclude, like they get rated higher than white artists because they're African American. And I think this is wrong. Having the first four of them as the first four singles, finally the fifth one is a Caucasian artist. Now, you might say, well, King, you're racist. But I've seen this with Dave Marsh. Like, Dave Marsh, from England, that's what they do. Like, they love an African American from America, but if you're a white guy from America, good. Now, he doesn't do that, obviously, from America, because who's his favorite person. David Marsh's. Bruce Springsteen comes oil. He comes gold. He loves Bruce Springsteen. Oh, Bruce, come here, let me suck you off. I love you. Because he's written so many books about Bruce Springsteen. He's Bruce Springsteen's friend. I love I love Dave Marsh. He makes me look so good. He comes to my mansion, on a hill in New Jersey. I do look a little bit like Bruce Springsteen, right? He comes to my mansion by the hill, and we talk about music. We talk about how much. I tell him a story about Grand Funk. At one time, I opened for them, my band Steel Mill. And I went back to see the boys, Mark Fauna. And they didn't even let me in their dressing room. They laughed at me. Now, look who's laughing now. Grand Funk, Mark Fauna. So, he's not the same in that, but he picks certain white artists he likes. But everyone else, and Steve Perry of Journey, of course, hates him. I should, before I go, that's the last thing I'm going to do. Dave Marsh's ratings of Journey. Okay, this is one of the funny. Now, Journey, by the way, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, again, this comes from Dave Marsh's. Again, taking white artists and rating them poorly on purpose. And I love Dave Marsh's writings. I think they're really good, but this is a problem, and this is why it happens, because a lot of these critics do not look. And again, black artists, sure, started rock and roll. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of people don't talk about it, right? What the hell's Journey? So Journey, a group, I have the first Journey out. It's pretty good. It's a progressive album. Not like what they did. GH Jams. Okay, so Journey. By the way, a square box is so bad that it doesn't even get a star. Okay, so I'm still on J. I. Okay, gotta get I. Oh, Mahalia Jackson. Everything's 5 stars. What the hell am I going? This is what I mean. It's so nonsensical. Okay, Journey. Okay, Journey. Okay. Now this is Billy Joel. Here's another guy. He rates poorly. He goes, he's friends with him. I remember on Bob Costas, he had thing. I'm good friends with him, but I just don't think his music's good. Come on, man. Oh, Elton John. Okay, Elton John. He gives 1 5-star. Elton John, the greatest hits. See, this is my theory. Is it right? I don't know. My theory is that rock critics love black artists, give over amount of, um, give over amount of, give. I don't know what the word is. Give over amount to. Okay, let me show you this. Now, hold on. Let me take the mic. Okay. This is the rating on Journey. I don't know if you could see it. There's Journey. Here it is. Okay. Look at those ratings. A square 1 star, and I think Dave Marsh was the guy that gave him the ratings. Yeah. So Steve Perry hates Dave Marsh. And of course, Journey is not 1-star artist. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm not a big Journey fan, but I know that. So this is what they do. These critics, they give black artists extra points for just being black instead of really listening to their music, and they always don't give white artists credit because black artists invented rhythm and blues. They invented rhythm and blues, and that became rock and roll. So now this is my theory. So you can't really trust. They have a bias towards black artists, right? They don't listen to, or they downgrade. So whatever you see a criticism from a white critic of a white artist, add some points. And if you see a criticism, you'll never see a bad criticism from a black artist. You'll never. I'm going to go through, it's funny, I'm going to go through this one. And I want to look at the black artists. And I guarantee you, there won't be one, There won't be one bad criticism. Maybe there's no bad black music alone. I don't know. But the white artists will, of course, the standards, the Beatles won't get bad. But you're going to see that there's a negative shading towards the white artists. King, you're racist. You're racist. Cancel. Now, this is just fact, okay? Now, this is a fact. This is what rock critics do. And, okay. So now I am unemployed, and I don't post this. Okay, so thank you. So now I got to edit this video and combine it all into one using Movie Maker. If I can do that, I'm going to try it. I don't know if the King could do that. And yeah, that's my theory. Okay, is it true? I don't know. I tend to think this. I've read a lot of books on rock criticism, read a lot of rock critics. I've noticed that the many black artists can do no wrong, okay? Unless maybe they're not good. But I've listened to a lot, and I kind of know that that's not true. I kind of know that, I just know that. I believe I have a lot of black. Otis Redding's, a lot of his records weren't that good. They were good. He's a great artist, but in terms of like an album, like Otis Blue or whatever, Otis Sing Soul, they weren't that great. Now, there's a lot of great songs, but there's a lot of weak songs too. So they would just give him 5 stars because he was Otis Redding. Okay, let's close it. So today is what? June 3rd, I guess. It's June 2nd. I don't even know what time it is. I don't have my iPhone. So I'm now unemployed. But that's my theory. I could be wrong. I'm open to criticism. Okay, so you have a great evening, June 3rd, and I am the king of all mediums, and you're not. Just remember that. You're not. Take it.